Hello, you are welcome to the program Roundtable on the combined service of ASO Radio and Television. Today is the 24th day of January 2022, and of course, Roundtable, you all know what it stands for. It's a program that people watch, people listen on the radio when we are on it, like the way we are. This morning, I want to tell you this edition gives you a better perspective to issues that we'll be discussing towards National Convention for the All Progressives Congress that will be coming up on the 26th of February 2022. And of course, you all know that there are key politicians who are really preparing their minds to see how best they will get or clinch that particular position, the national chairmanship of the party. And there are so many of them already indicating interest. This morning, I want to tell you that indeed we'll be focusing our attention on that discussion to see who gets what at the end of the day. With me in the studio, as usual, a respected member, Honorable Nigerian, of course, who will be speaking to us on his interest concerning the national chairmanship contest that will be coming up next month. My colleague here,
Isa Nuhu. Good morning and welcome to today's program.
Yes. Of course, you know, Roundtable is a program which I yield the microphone again by the time it has been established to those who are watching us, and equally those who are listening to us by making their contribution on the topic being discussed. We will be looking at national chairmanship contest for the convention that will be coming up on the 26th of February 2022. With us in the studio, we have a contestant in the person of Alhaji Sani Shinkafi. He's from Zamfara State. It's a pleasure having you here in the studio, sir.
Good morning. Thank you.
Yes. Without taking much of your time, sir, tell us who you are in the right perspective for those who are watching us right now and they're listening to you.
My name is Alhaji Dr. Sani Shinkafi. I was born in the year 20th February 1970. By next month, I'm 52 years old.
Congratulations.
And have gone my primary education in Shinkafi, finished my secondary school also in 1988. Go to Polytechnic Birnin KB. I have a diploma in business admin, HND accounting, postgraduate diploma in education, masters in financial management. I have been in the civil service, I've been in the party politics, I have been in business. So I know what it takes to manage human and material resources. I have the managerial talent, I have the experience and the party administration. I was the immediate past National Secretary of Abuja. I'm also the immediate past Board of Trustee of Secretary of Abuja. So to tell you that I have been in politics for many years. I have been in politics since 1992, during the defunct NRC SDF, during the military regime of John Ibrahim Badmasi Babangida, under the platform of NRC. So I'm telling you, I have the experience, I have the managerial talent, I have the capacity, I'm physically and mentally paid. So if you look at the brief history I gave you, educationally I'm qualified. The minimum qualification to contest election constitutionally in Nigeria is secondary school cert or its equivalent. And also, if you look at my age, I'm 52 years old. Even the present acting national chairman, His Excellency Memala Boni, is senior me with only 2 years. And even the governor of Borno State, he's senior me with, I think, 5 or 6 months. So just to tell you, if you are taking of age, then I'm qualified, even to be a president of this country by age and education, and also by experience. I've been in the civil service, I'm a technocrat by excellence. So just to tell you that I know what it takes to manage a party very well. So that's the brief. I don't want to go much deep, but that's the brief.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Why are you into this contest?
I'm into this contest to control my quota in development of the party in Nigeria. APC needs somebody who has the managerial capacity, who has administrative experience to manage the affairs of the party. So that is why I have a blueprint that I can turn around the management of the party and make the party the greatest party in Africa. The party needs social democracy, and the party we need to strengthen the internal democracy of the party, and we need to make sure that we have a verifiable and credible membership register to make sure that we get rid of manipulation, abuse of the process, godfatherism, impunity in the governance of the party, and also to fight against any form of corruption and financial inducement to enforce unpopular candidate during the nomination or during the nomination exercise or during the intra-party elections. So these are some of my blueprints that I have the mission and ambition that if by the grace of God I become the national chairman of the party, then they know that yes, the party has a capable hand who can handle the affairs of the party. And I want to continue where the acting national chairman of the party, Malabuni, stopped, because he has done a very marvelous job in trying to get people to come into the party, in trying to reconcile some members of the party who have been betrayed, who have been paid bad in 2019 elections. There's a lot of people who felt they were not treated well in 2019. And also he went ahead to get more states governors into the fold of APC. The Cross River governor, Professor Ben Ayade, was in PDP, and the Malabuni did everything humanly possible to make sure that he defected to APC unconditionally. And also Omahi, Engineer Chief Omahi of Iboin State, who was elected in the platform of PDP, but because of the leadership style of Malabuni, and he now brought him into the fold of APC. At the same thing to my governor, who was also elected on the platform by PDP, and he was also, because of the way he saw and the manner Malabuni is going on with the affairs of the party, and he embraced it, and he also was defected. I defected along with him on 29 June 2019 in APC. So these are what I think, and also the governor, the chairman of the acting chairman of the caretaker extraordinary planning committee did a very, very nice job, put it on record, by trying to recruit and mobilize over 41 million members into the party when they did a just concluded the validation exercise of the membership register. So for a party to have 41 million members, you know that is the biggest party in Nigeria and in West African sub-region, or even in Africa. So I know with this, if I build up where he stopped, I think that I will move the party to the greater heights. And most of the contestants who was aspiring, most of them, they were tested but not trusted. Most of them are the former governors who have a lot of baggages, who has a lot of case to answer. But when we come to that, then we'll touch it out.
Okay, let me go back based on what you've said, Sani Abdullah Shinkafi. You've been known to be in the in Abuja.
Yes.
Before you decamp to APC.
Yes.
Definitely you must have seen one or two things that admires you, and you decided you want to also throw in to be part of those that are going to contest. But the major challenge now is, as the party zoned the issue of the chairmanship to the Northwest, because we can see different persons from this North Central, Northeast, Northwest coming out to contest for this particular position. What is the zoning position of the party?
There is a statement issued by the national leadership of the party that there was no day or time where the party met and resolved that a particular position for the forthcoming national convention should be zoned to either North Central or Northeast or Southeast or South or Southwest. It's just a mere political propaganda or mere political rumor, which you cannot avoid it in politics. And mostly in Nigeria, that the promoters of fake news and implementary statements. So you cannot run away from such a statement. So as I'm talking to you, there was no any decision taken yet for the zoning formula.
Okay. But are you not concerned that there are some zones they need representation in the party so that they should be carried along?
Well, going by the provision of the Constitution, before a political party to be registered, you must have a national spread across the 60 political zone. And all the principal officers of the party, that is the members of the National Working Committee, there must be a representation of at least 2/3 of the members of the principal officers in the party, in the National Working Committee. So if the Constitution have make it clear that representation in the party leadership should be 2/3, I don't think other segment of the country would be sidelined. Or I don't think other segment of the country will have a lopsided appointment or nomination into the fold of the National Working Committee. So there should be a representation in line with the provision of the Constitution.
Now, let me find out from you, sir. The party, that's the governing party, that's APC.
Yeah.
By the time the president leaves, it's only people like you who will now continue with the legacy of the party.
Yes.
Now you are contesting for the chairmanship, and there are so many divergence of interests from politicians, those who want to get this and they are not being opportune to get, and they are causing some kind of storm in the teacup. Do you look at yourself as a person who has the pedigree, the size, the muscle, the intelligence to be able to gather all these shares of opinions so that at the end of the day, the party should not be in disarray when it comes to 2023 elections?
Well, you see, the issue of democracy is a gradual process. If the president leaves in 2023, the party will continue because the party has a perpetual succession. That's a long lifespan because we are not in democratic governance and we have uninterrupted democracy governance in Nigeria at least 23 years now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So from 1999 to 2002 is 23 years. So the party will have a good perpetual succession, and the party will also have more membership because when the president leaves, those who were maybe born, who are 15 years or 16 years old, will be 18 years old. Yeah, they will be eligible to vote. They will be eligible to vote, and they will be eligible to also have to be a card-carrying member of any political party of their choice. So that if the party continues to promote its ideology of the founding fathers, because it's a progressively minded political party that has an agenda to transform this country, from both the bad leadership or the People Democratic Party. So I'm telling you, with what is happening, if you look at it, you cannot run away from making politicians to be doing horse riding, struggling to grab power. But when the chips are down, everybody will know his level. So I'll be very optimistic that the party will grow bigger and bigger, even if the president let. Because the president has done a lot. He has done a lot. Despite the sabotage, the president has done a lot in making sure that this country is secured and this country is not divided and remain united.
Okay. Now, based on what you've stated, earlier on you made mention of having about 41 million party members. And looking at what happened in Anambra State and coming towards this 2022 convention, in Anambra State we had about 2 million APC registered members, but then it didn't really reflect in the election that took place in Anambra State.
No.
And then
the figures you are saying is not correct. Yes.
Party members in Anambra State, APC.
It's registered
members of the party.
On the INEC register, not party.
Not party.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
if about 345.
Sorry, 345,000. Okay, thank you for that correction. Yeah. Now, looking at that, it didn't still reflect in the election that was carried out in Anambra State.
Well, historically, since the formation point of ABGA, because I've been in ABGA in Anambra State is just like a movement or like a club. You understand? It's an association of people who felt that the ABGA is their own. They said in the Igbo, in Kabunkai, our own is our own. This, you understand? So what I'm telling you, no matter the size of the membership, they will not abandon that in Kabunkai, the ideology which Chikwemeka, blessed memory, left behind for them. And also, you look at the process, how the governorship candidate emerged. He emerged through the back door. Because I have to say this, without fear or favor, without any apology to anybody. Why? Because I'm a very realistic person. And also I always speak the truth. The process, how he emerged, does not reflect the norms and value of democracy. There's many people who bought form to aspire for that governorship of Anambra State of the 6th November election. But the process of the primaries, how it went, it ended in the Federal High Court. Judge Magalu went to court to challenge the legality of that primaries. And the court go ahead to deliver a judgment in favor of Judge Magalu that the process is not in total compliance with the provision of Section 87 of the Electoral Act 2010 as amended. And the court went ahead to nullify his nomination and declare that APC has no candidate in Anambra State. So with that, if you look at the process, because if you go through the literal meaning of democracy, if you have done a subject called government or citizenship in secondary school, it is a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. If the party went ahead to do free and fair and transparent primaries, I don't think this thing will happen. Most of the members belong to different groups of aspirants. So it's not precisely that if they have 1 million membership, and the end of the way they end up, you can't expect anything good. You understand?
So how do you put 41 million into good use when it comes to election contest at the National Convention?
The 41 million goodwill, I was telling you, how the present acting chairman did to mobilize and recruit membership into the party. And when I come on board, I will even raise it to 60 million or 80 million, because we have at least approximately we have more than 200 million population in Nigeria. Since the 2006 census, another census has not been taking place, and at that time, I think we were about 140 million. So about 18 years now, I can say, 18 or 17 years, there was no population census. So if I become the national chairman of ABC by the grace of God, I'll try to recruit more membership through a lot of party activities I'm going to do across the 36 states, including FCT. It is when you strictly adhere to the internal regulation of the party, that is the party constitution and the constitution of the Federation of Nigeria, then I think people now look at how good you are doing things, and they'll embrace the party. But when you are selfish and self-centered, then you will have nothing to write home about.
So there are these insinuations that some of these aspirants, some of them are sponsored. And sometimes they act like political spoilers for those who are supposed to be.
Yes.
Where do you belong?
I belong to none of that group. I'm not a spoiler. I took at this contest as a destiny, because God is the master of my destiny. I've never expected or dreamed of even belonging to having been a member of APC. But God has destined me to be a member of APC by coming down home to join hands with the governor to see how I can contribute my quota to the development of my state, because of the present security situation we are facing and some economic challenges. So I decided to come with my vast of experience to contribute my quota, because I have no any other place than Zamfara State. I'm not a spoiler, I'm not a puppet, I'm not a stooge. I'm not being sponsored by anybody. But I have been driving to the contest by the divine mission of Almighty God. So those who are speculating, say some are spoilers, some are this or that, I doesn't belong to that group. I'm a very, very ideological person, I'm a very principled person.
Why did you indicate the interest of being the chairman just of late?
Not late. I have indicated my interest to run for this office of chairman October last year. It's not late. And also I have notified all the governors on court of APC, on that platform of APC, since that of between October and November. All the ministers and the cabinet of Mr. President, in writing, not to go and meet you or to lobby you, just to notify you, I'm running for the position. I did that. I wrote personally also to Senate President, to Speaker of the House of Representatives, to Mr. President, and to the Vice President. So I'm not late. It is on record. I have the acknowledged copy of these letters I sent to them. So it's left to them. If they read it or if they put it in dustbin, but I have the copy to prove to the public that I have dispatched these letters, and these letters were duly acknowledged. Some are even stamped. You understand? So I'm not late.
So how will you manage? So you're not late.
I'm not late.
No.
I'm not late.
So what will make people to vote you in the avalanche of others? Tell us what you would do differently if you are given that position.
As I have told you earlier, I have experience in party administration. I have been immediate past national secretary of Abuja. I have been immediate past secretary of board of trustees of Abuja. Abuja was able to have a governor, luckily enough to have a uninterrupted governance in Anambra State for a good 16 years, which I'm party to that success. Rochas Okorocha become governor of Imo State through my success also. I signed from the left-hand side of the letter we forward to ANEC, and the chairman, Victor Umi, signed from the right-hand side. And I signed his nomination, and many others. Many others who happens to be even in APC. I used my signature to send their nomination to ANEC, like Chief Alex Oti, Chris Anyau, and many others. And many others in the House of Representatives, House of Assembly, in Abia, Imo State, and Anambra State. I'm also part of the country, even in Taraba State, in Niger State.
Are you known in the Southwest?
Very well.
How?
I'm known in Nigeria, not in the Southwest. In Nigeria, I'm a detemporalized Nigerian. I have a chieftaincy, 2 chieftaincy titles in the Southwest. I have been given chieftaincy titles of Adimula of Ijesha Modu, Ikiti, Ele major local government. I also have a chieftaincy title in Ondo State, Otumba. So I have many chieftaincy titles in the East, uncountable, and I have many in the North. So I'm a detemporalized Nigeria. These are the major tribes we have in Nigeria. I'm even qualified to run for president with how I have known people across the country. So I'm telling you, I have what it takes to manage affairs of the party. All those who are contesting this election, most of them are former governors. Majority, 2/3 of them are former governors. They don't have the experience to manage the affairs of the party. They only have the experience to manage money from the state from federation account.
Now you've mentioned so much about your spread across the country, and when you're trying to itemize your manifesto towards becoming the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, I didn't really take more position on the issue of youth and women. Just of recent, the APC had their women conference, and you didn't really take. What are your position on that?
I'm very gender sensitive. I'm going to make sure that I comply with the Beijing Declaration on the gender sensitivity. I have a plan for the women and the youth of this country. I'm going to make sure that I give room for women participation in politics. I will make sure that I encourage women to participate in intra-party election. I will make sure that I encourage women to participate in the election process by giving them nomination form with little cost or no cost. I'm making sure that the youth of this country, the talented youth, will have a way to meet their yearning and aspirations. If you look at the APC constitution, there is a pegment for the position of the national youth leader. Anybody above 35 years is automatically disqualified to become a national leader of APC. But from 18 years to 35 years, you are qualified to hold the office of national youth leader of APC. And I congratulate the youth for having a 26 years old as a national youth leader of APC.
But my major concern here,
a major historic milestone recorded in the history of Nigerian politics.
My major concern here is not just holding maybe the national youth leader of the party or having women as part of your national executive members, but we do have a situation whereby we should be having 35% of women, maybe in political structures or maybe in options where they can be able to contest beyond even the party politics. Do you see yourself putting them in that shape, mentoring them to get the leadership itself?
You see, if you go by the virtue of the provision of Constitution of Nigeria, there's no any section or any chapter of the Constitution that clearly makes some provision or some percentage for other segment of the society. So for APC to introduce that they must give 35% affirmative, they call it women affirmative action, I don't think I will make the statement at this material time. Because as I have said, I always want to be very realistic and I don't want to derail on my principles. So I will encourage women participation. Let me tell you something. The women have a lot of challenges in terms of holding political office, most especially in the northern Nigeria, because of the Islamic perception about women to lead. Like in my state now, we have 147 wards. We have, I think, 24 state constituencies. We have 7 federal constituencies. We have 3 senatorial lists and the governor. In these positions, there's no one woman there. Because once we give her, then the Islamic scholars will have a special summon for them. And it will be a problem. There is one scenario in Argungu, local government in Kebbi State. The governor appointed sole administrator, and he appointed a lady to become a sole administrator of Argungu. That all the Friday summon that week
was on her.
Was on her on the governor. They are branding him with all kinds of bad names. Just this is the danger. and the north has the highest population in the country, most especially in the north.
Which means you have a Herculean task ahead. Now let me ask you.
Challenge.
Yeah. let me ask you this question. Sir. You know, the party politically, naturally, politics. One of the substances of politics is to have crisis in it. Usually. There's no party that exists that doesn't have 1 or 2 things to solve. And it is not different with your party, that's the governing party, APC. You hear of cases, some people have gone to court, some are saying they're not doing this, are not doing that. How will you manage these people so that at the end of the day, you have a formidable party that will go ahead without any rancor in 2023, if you become the chairman?
You see, there is some political saying, which people say there's no permanent enemy or permanent friend in politics, but permanent interest. And also there's another, this thing, what do you call it? Yes, let me just expatiate on that one.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, some people will come, cause trouble here and there, left, right, and center, try to fool the roof, try to fool down even the building if they don't get what they want. Some have a spirit in their body of do or die politics, but they don't know that it is what is destined by God. Before God Almighty created each and every one of us here, 50 years before He created us, He has written our destiny. Whether you become a governor or a senator or a president or this, God has destined that Buhari will be a governor, will be a minister, will be a military head of state, and will be a president under civil rule. So it's a destiny. Buhari contested election 4 times, and he won election at the 4th attempt. So this is destiny. Those who are not learned, or those who doesn't know the Islamic or the Bible teachings of what is called destiny, and that is why, because they are ignorant of all these things, they are just trying to do or die. You understand? So I'm telling you, if I have been elected, leadership under my watch will make sure that we lead the party with the fear of God and in line with the constitution of the Republic of Nigeria and the constitution of the party. What brings problem? Conflicts in the party. It's not all party wrangles or crisis. Injustice, inequality, corruption.
Lack of inclusion.
Lack of inclusion. You understand? And people will be treated anyhow. If I've been elected as national chairman of APC, I'm going to make sure that I reduce the numbers of litigation if it comes on the issue of the party nomination. We are going to be very transparent, we are going to be accountable to people, and we are going to be prudent managers of material and human resources.
But look at it, sir. Already APC is made up of various political parties. and people are agitating based on where they are really coming from. We have CPC, we have APP, we have SC and all that. They all
even Abga,
and if Abga,
even part of DPP.
yes,
and like Magashi.
Fine. And if it is a matter of these groups mentioned, how will you be able to be fair to them by giving them what they're supposed to get so that nobody complains at the end of the day?
You see, why I'm telling you sometimes we're having problem. If that's a Nigerian laws, you need to read it like the way you are reading Quran or you are reading Bible, so that it will guide you in what you are doing. It is clear in the Electoral Act 2010 as amended that any political party that want to merge as a one political party, their national secretary, national treasurer, national chairman should submit the certificate of registration to Independent National Electoral Commission, and they will now all the certificate will be harmonized and given one. So those who match ANPP, APC, CPC, and other part of Abga and other DPP, other part of Abga and DPP, they are not opportune to surrender the certificate because those who are the custodian of the registration of certificate have not followed on the formation point.
Yes.
But some people followed in the formation point, like Rochas Okorocha, Martin Abaso, Osita Izana, so it's all product of Abga. And Magashi is follower of Abga, but others like Jeremiah Hussein who are in DPP and refused to follow Bapara as that. But Bapara followed also in the formation point of APC. But when some of his political rivals enter APC, he decided to back out. So, but Senator Lawli Shaibu, who is also his close ally and his classmate in the secondary school, was an immediate past deputy national chairman of the North State. You understand?
Yeah.
So in the formation point, all these things, when the party is merged and you have one political party, then the issue of where you belong from, whether you're APC, CPC, DPP, Abga, that one have elapsed. It is for you to come back to the table. You have to look at the manifesto of the party, the ideology of the founding father of the party, B.C. Akande, Buhari, and Jagaba, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and many others, and Ibrahim Shekarau, and Abuba Galadima. All these and Sulahama are all in the formation point. Oyegu, John Oyegu, and many others, Tony Momo. So you have to come to the ideology of that progressively minded individual who came together in 2013 to form the party and checkmate PDP out of power in 20.
But are they doing like you're saying?
You see,
and if they don't, how do you manage them?
If they don't, we go by the rules. In the party constitution, it was clearly stated how a party should be managed. And that's a prohibition for disciplinary actions. Once you violate any content of the party, then you will face the full weight of the party constitution. I don't waste time on that. I'm a very principled.
So the money bags.
There must be a discipline. We must install discipline in the party. We must strengthen the internal democracy.
The people who are considered to be very rich and they are in the party sometimes influence the thinking of the chairman against the interests of the poor.
No. Go and ask my antecedent. I'm not somebody you can borrow to money. I'm not saying that 100% perfect, but at least 60 to 70%. I know.
You will defend us?
Why not?
Are you a member of APC? Maybe that's you are not a member. Okay. I'm more concerned about this particular issue. The APC have spread, they have governors across the Nigerian states. But towards the last election in Edo State, you lost that state to the PDP, now making the South having 6 governors as PDP. Mm-hmm. What are your plans to make sure you get back into that particular zone?
While you see, once you have a bad manager, then you end up also as a bad loser. The problem we have as at that time, we have a bad manager who refused to manage the crisis. When you apply, if there's this type of problem, you have to apply many techniques to celebrate the situation. You have to apply alternative dispute resolution. You have to exhaust all the internal party mechanism to make sure that the party will not go in this area. It is very unfortunate. The former national chairman of APC, who happens to be from Edo State, who happens to be elected under the platform of APC, and allow the state to spill out into the hand of PDP because of the selfish reasons. It is very ideological in line with the ideology of the party. I don't think that party will dash out that this thing in the state. It is very unfortunate and unfair and undemocratic for somebody who has been qualified to be elected as a governor of state, and he came back for second time to run for election, and you say he doesn't have secondary school certificate or he doesn't have certificate. It's a slap to the party and to the nation, because INEC doesn't disqualify candidates. INEC doesn't screen candidates. It is the party that screens candidates. So the screening committee, as at that time when Obaseki contested election, why have they not disqualified him? Why? So that it means that there's something behind the scene. That's my opinion, and I stand by it. If at all he's not qualified, why will the party clear him? And when any published names of candidate proclaims an objection, why the members of public have not objected when his name was published? Because in light of the Provision of Electoral Act 2010 as amended, members of the public have been given opportunity to come and look at the names published by INEC within 14 days, arrest objection, and file a case in the higher court.
Yeah, okay, sir. Because of time factor, there are people who are watching you, okay, and they are equally listening to you using the radio. Okay. They may call in and ask one or two questions. I didn't take break because we don't have enough time, because I have so much to offer. Okay. if you finally become the chairman of APC, the national chairman of APC, which primary will they adopt? We have the direct, indirect, and the consensus, which of course you know what Nigeria will be talking about, all these issues that I'm putting before you. And I believe there are others who might equally ask these questions when we give out the line. So it's about time for me. By the time I read the line out, you come back and answer this question.
Consensus in the line.
Wait, I'm coming, sir. Let me read this line. Okay. For those who want to speak with you, or when they are watching you or listening to you as you speak. To be with us on this program, Roundtable, you dial 090-574-08127. The number again, 090-57-408-127. Yes, if you become the chairman of the party as it is, which option will you use for primaries? Is it the consensus, indirect, or direct?
If you look at the 2019 general election, the system APC adopted two options. APC adopted direct and indirect.
Okay, let's speak this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, you are on to ASO Radio and Television. Our guest in the studio is an APC National Chairman aspirant in the person of Alhaji Dr. Sani Shinkafi from Zamfara State. What do you have for him? Can you call back 090-57-408-127? Our guest in the studio is a national chairmanship aspirant in the person of Alhaji Dr. Sani Shinkafi. He's here live and direct speaking to us. Basically, his intention of running for the national chairmanship and the pedigree he has for that particular position. He's been talking for a wide range of time, and possibly you have one or two things to seek for clarification and question you can ask. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, your name and place of call, please.
Okay, my name is Modeste.
All right. Where are you calling us from?
From Guadampa.
Go ahead with your observation or question. Go ahead. Can you hear us? Oh my God. Maybe the caller needs to call back, and I will reiterate the number. 0905 7408 127. Our guest is here speaking to us on his interests for the national chairmanship. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Wow.
Things.
Yeah.
We have technical
Yeah,
issues.
yeah. Just go straight out to explain where you will belong by the time you become national chairman. People are already talking about either direct, indirect consensus.
Well, I've started saying earlier, in the last 2019 election, APC adopted two options, direct and indirect primaries. In some states, APC conducted indirect primaries. In some states, APC conducted direct primaries. So that's why when they conduct direct primaries, and that's why Ambode lost election to Sanwo-Olu in the primary and the indirect primaries. Well, if I become the national chairman of APC, in APC constitution, I'm not talking about electoral act. In the APC constitution, there is three options. You either go for direct primaries or indirect primaries or by consensus. And even if it is by consensus, there should be an affirmation. That the party people will now line off and affirm you as nominated candidate for said election.
Yeah.
For direct primaries, all the card-carrying members will line off and they will be certified and accredited, and they now elected
The candidate.
A candidate for election. Now the National Assembly are amending the Electoral Act 2010 as 2010, and very soon they will send it back to Mr. President for assent. And they also they send it to President, I think last month, to sign, and the President send it back and direct them that they cannot make the direct election as the only one option for the party, because some smaller parties does not have money to finance that direct primary if they make it mandatory in the Electoral Act. So now they send it back, and they send it back and remove that clause and insert another clause. With that clause is also dangerous to democracy. Inside a consensus candidate in it. So if I become the national chairman of the party, I will work with the internal electoral guideline of the party, and also I work with the Electoral Act. If signed into law, Electoral Act 2021 as amended, or Electoral Act 2022 as amended, I will be guided by that laws.
Okay. Maybe before you continue, because of time, this question I'm going to ask has to do with the history of the party. You have leadership in the past, and what it takes for them to go out of it is almost causes problem within the party, like that of John Oyegu and then Adams Oshomole. Even the present caretaker chairman, there has been tussle on ground. When you assume the position, if you win in the national convention, how do you plan your exit out of it?
And then to combine this, if for any other reason the party agrees to zone it to the North Central, the position you are looking for, will you work with that person? Just briefly before.
Very briefly, I have said it earlier. I have an administrative experience. I have a party also party experience. If I become the national chairman of APC by the grace of God, I will make sure that I will do everything humanly possible to minimize the internal party wrongdoing and crisis. The only way you can minimize it is for you to be transparent very often and lead with fear of God, and be equitable to everybody, and you have to be to apply principle of rule of justice. But if you turn yourself to be a dictator like others, and try to also tell that people should give you money before you do things, then you sell off your conscience. But if you stand on the ideology of the party, I don't think anybody will complain. If you stand on also the stipulated internal rules and regulations governing the party, nobody will complain. On the issue of
supporting
zoning,
yeah,
I'm a real party man. The party supremacy supersedes individual interests. If the parties decided to zone it to North Central, which is zone is yet to be announced, I will abide by it. I'm a real party man.
But will you continue with zoning when you become chairman?
You say what?
Will you continue with zoning, or you will not allow zoning to?
Zoning, let me tell you, zoning is unconstitutional. It's not in the constitution of the party. Okay. Zoning is not in the constitution of Nigeria. So you cannot go and you cannot put foundation on nothing. But because of the political equation to be balanced, and that is why politicians always talk about zoning. But in anything, if today a northerner decided to sit down in the Aso Rock as a president for 50 years or 100 years, it's constitutional. But for fairness and for other places to take a shot, and that is why politicians always apply zoning. If today they say a southerner should stay there as a president by the total majority vote of Nigerians, not by military coup d'etat or by force,
yes, sir.
But if the people say he stay there, he will stay there, and it's constitutional.
Okay, sir. We really appreciate you. I know there's no time left for you to be talking more. We shall still invite you because we still have more time. 26th of February is still very long.
Yeah,
you still have to come here and speak more on that. Well, that's about the size of the program. We appreciate you for coming for this program this morning.
Thank you.
Honorable.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for coming to the program, and we wish you the best in the 2020 and 22 convention.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank
We've
you.
been speaking with the APC National Chairmanship aspirant in the person of Alhaji Dr. Sani Shinkafi. He is from Zamfara State. You listened to him and you watched him on the screen, basically what he said and his intention for going in for that particular position. We thank you so much for those who took time to call us and then they couldn't. We shall be doing that again next week. We do have a very lovely weekend. Honorable, we thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Topsy Gimba. And bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.